these kind of flags normally is that like you might find yourself in the volcano pretty early and want to just go, check all those chests and then take out Carrie. What if it's Kraken? What if it's Tiamat? Are you going to have the firepower that early to take those on? We do see in these level 1 spells, we see a nice sweeper in Ice 3 and Lit 3, and then we also see Cure 4 so that in the White Mage only slot. So Bert is rewarded a little bit for the White Mage. So we're just gonna watch our runners do their initial shopping round. It's actually kind of interesting to see who's shopping faster than who in here, because this is something that can, like, not every race comes down to a 10-second gap, but enough 10-second gaps does make a difference.
Yeah, this is a tough start. I mean, you have your level 1 black magic, which is fantastic, and everyone has 2 casters, so they're all gonna be feeling pretty good about that. But on the flip side of the coin, no save items, no heal potions. The only healing magic out there was Cure 4, which only one runner will have. Leggy has decided to make the play of maybe these treasure chests are just not that darn important, and just decides to go kill Garland, while everyone else goes and loots and gets 18,693 gold pieces to get them off the ground with. That's real nice.
Whew, I would say that's worth it.
Oh, 100%.
We have a ruby and an herb to start off from the Royals here.
Yep, backside of there is a rune edge and a cabin. It looks like Asher had also bought a rapier, so going to slide that over onto the thief cabin. Those 2 chests not so exciting, but again, the gold advantage means that Leggy, while she is the first runner out of Temple of Fiends and on her way, she also has an 18,000 gold deficit to deal with right now.
Yeah, and that's nothing to joke about. That's pretty much all your early shopping. She's also skipping Matoya. I'm not a huge fan of this with loose items because there's a non-zero chance that a key item that you need early is loose.
Yeah, so the idea is that since there are only 2 loose items, there's something to be said for skipping chests here and there, but it could be anywhere is kind of the problem. I didn't catch what petrified One Fine Day's lead red mage there. So, a little bit.
It was something in Topher, but I didn't see what it was. It was like a mixed pack, I think.
Yeah, but, he's out with 16,000 gold as well, so...
It's entirely likely he'll just go with 3-person strats with this, and just be like, well, 2 red mages.
So, Life 2 was in White Magic slot 1 in Crescent Lake here. Which is in the Provoca spot. So guess who can get Life 2?
And a canoe.
And a canoe. But there's only one featured runner who can get Life 2 now also.
Yeah. Level 6 magic first slot is a white wizard only.
Yeah, the rest of the spots are
white
great.
Mage can learn it too, but red mage nor red wizard cannot.
Right. Reds can learn the 2, 3, and 4 spots after promotion, but the first spot is out of reach, and so again, that is another critical endgame spell out of our hands for 3 of our runners here. So this is starting to look a little dicey for if we get a tough Topher, things could get frightening in a hurry.
For reference, can you remind us what the scaling factor is here?
I could if I had my notes in front of me. Don't mind me, I'm good at my job, I promise you this.
I have too many browser windows open because I'm also restreaming.
Yep, don't worry about it. I will get that up in a second because I am totally paying attention. That goes...
It looks like Leggy's now going to go check Matoya's chests with the canoe, which is actually kind of nice.
Okay, yeah, scaling is very low on these flags, comparatively speaking to what we've seen recently. This is a kind of a callback to 2018 a little bit, which was 150% base enemy scaling and 200% boss scaling.
Yep, 200% boss scaling, you can still get some nasty stuff. And of course, no amount of scaling really changes the amount of damage Nuke does.
200 to 400, because you're going to roll bad, so just assume it does 380.
We have some early levels on Asher, already up to level 5 after blasting that pack of Gramps.
Yeah, not shy about getting off to a start. Our experience is only 2.0 plus 120, so a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of extra experience. Our runners will get an extra 50% boost at 12 key items, so that'll be a little ways off for them.
Yeah.
So scrounging for...
That does explain why we're not seeing any black belts tonight, with scaling only going up to 3x. That's not really what you want for trying to do a black belt dedicated grind.
Not at all, and all of our runners with their double sweepers are just trying to pick up some experience as they travel, so we're not seeing a lot of overworld manipulation, considering also really didn't start with great housing options. Crescent Lake does have cabins at 64, so that's not half bad, honestly. Could do worse.
Yeah, especially with that 20k gold that they started with.
Yeah, Leggy just grabbed 4k from Dwarf Cave, so at least she'll have a bit of a consolation prize there. She basically picked up enough money for...
There was like a 4 and 6, and there's also 5k in... There's like 10...
Oh,
no,
in
there's like
Matoya's
11k
Cave? Yeah.
in Matoya's Cave that she kept. Burt Reynolds actually decided, it's like, nah, I don't need that cash, and reset out of Matoya's Cave to not have to walk further south.
Yeah, Asher's slightly behind in terms of travel, just picking up that canoe right now. Heading on out of the Lake of Crescents here. So, again, early game, a fairly linear start to it here, again, with the canoe popping out at Crescent Lake, and we're still missing the two bigger early game towns. We're missing Provoca, and we're missing Elfland right now.
Well, let's see what we have here. We have Onrak. That is not an early game town.
Ooh, that's not what we wanted to see here. We're not gonna... I mean, we at least have Lightning 3 and Ice 3 to our names at this point in time, but
we also
we're gonna turn it...
We have access to one more town location as well.
Yep, and we're going to see what the herb gives us as well, because if it gives us the floater, that changes things immensely, but it's the crystal, so... Now we have a weird decision, right? Do we go for the town, hope it's Provoca, and hope that we get something from the pirates,
so
or...
either way, you're walking around this big circle. So my opinion would be go east to Provoca, see what that
if it's
town is,
Provoca.
then go
Right.
north, like basically counterclockwise up the circle to where Matoya is.
Yep, this also opens up specific sorts of gambling as well, because if you're really feeling it at this point in time, you don't get what you want from the Crescent Lake spot on the map, I'd say go to Ice Cave, but Ice Cave's not incentivized. Normally that's a gamble runners could make.
Not incentivized. What is incentivized?
Incentivized is the main NPCs and Fetch Quest NPCs, so, you know, all of the things that you know from the storyline. The treasure chest in Marsh Cave is still online for our runners as well. The vampire chest in Earth Cave, and the locked chest in Corneria Town. And there's more housing in Onrak, but that's about the extent of it right now. Nothing else that I think anybody wants. And Hydras are doing Hydra things, so Spellzap is talking about resetting the trip to Crescent Lake, but with Hydras doing the nasty damage here...
Yeah, also unrunnable Hydras, for that matter.
Yep.
I don't know,
you know,
that's super feasible.
Yeah, so Leggy drops a save in the river system there, and is going to find a Pete on the way, who have a bunch of health. They are super healthy.
And she's pretty low on spell charges, for that matter. We do have one fine day going in the ice, regardless of the fact that it's incentivized or not.
Yep, and oh no, that's not what we wanted to see. That's Gaia in the Crescent Lake spot. So we get a whole lot of nothing for our troubles here. Does this also mean bottle from Matoya, maybe? Yeah, to do some more dashing around the world here. Thank goodness cabins are like 60 gold apiece.
Tents are 16.
Yeah, ooh, tents are 16. That's beautiful. I'd be grabbing a ton of those and attempting to encounter manipulate my way around the world because, well.
I mean, she's already got like 20 cabins. She's just going to take that. Looks like she's headed back to Marsh, maybe?
It's either Marsh or drop off the crystal at this point in time. It looks like Asher is heading due west and is, we're seeing, we're going to run from these ogres first, trying to take advantage of that thief, and yeah, that looks like a Crescent, that looks like a Marsh Cave dive play here.
One day in a unrunnable, massive undead encounter. Just throwing out lit 3s at them, but,
this looks like not a lot of fun, honestly.
You know, on the other hand, he bought silver armors for everyone in his party. Like, one of the things that makes ice scary is that you kind of need Absorb to, like, not get wrecked by these enemies. He's got it.
You do get punched an awful lot in Ice Cave by things, and the undead don't pull punches here.
They don't pull punches, but their attack power isn't absurd. It's mostly a problem when you don't have any Absorb. That really does solve that problem.
Yeah, and at 150% scaling, they're never going to get so full. They're just going to start tagging your party left and right, so it seems like a pretty alright thing here.
Yeah. Whether this gamble's going to pay off, we don't even know yet, because it's not an incentivized location.
Yep, Asher North is going to North Marsh here. Burt Reynolds is going to show us the rest of North Marsh. He's pulled 2 blanks so far. And Aegis Shield is really nice, admittedly. Can't equip it just yet. Also got 2 Iron Armors out of here, so...
Yeah, it's kind of it's a toss-up whether you walk that out or not.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a house, you could consider walking it out, because then you can always top yourself back off, and then do the south side of Marsh. Houses were only 1260, and we did start with a lot of gold out in the overworld. I know that there's already been at least, we've seen at least 35,000 gold in play in treasure chests already.
Are these unrandomized? These are unrandomized trap tiles, I think?
Yes, the forced encounter tiles are exactly what you expect them to be, no less and no more. So this is the mage tile, the eye tiles, and ice cave down below.
What that means we might get?
An eye grind?
I was thinking Agama Facts, but...
Oh, ooh, Agama Facts. I do love me some Agama Facts. I'm not gonna lie. Better Trap Treasure is a flag that is on, however, so checking chests that have enemy encounters in front of them is honestly going to be very valuable.
Maybe that's what brought One Fine Day here.
Searching for the goods. No, that improved chest had an improved Coral Sword in it, so they aren't all winners. They aren't all. Spell Zap noting the Aegis was in the right chest in the bottom area, which is the linked chest.
And did he take advantage of that?
I don't know if anybody's taking advantage of that. We'll see if they go grab the chest on second south. We'll know that they did. One fine day, I'm real interested in this play, knowing it's not incentivized, and oh, it looks like Frost Wolves have Stone Touch.
Yikes!
Asher opts out of the
enhanced 20
shield.
Gold.
And like I said, they ain't all winners.
He's got 8 soft potions, so he's fine on that front.
He came prepared.
He was also the runner. He was also the runner who had to buy a soft potion, so I shouldn't be too.
So why not buy 10?
Yeah, pretty much.
They were only like 300 gold. They sometimes run over 1,000. So yeah, Burt Reynolds is sliding down to Southside. Asher is leaving Marsh Cave, just ditching completely.
Didn't get the key item?
Did not get the key item out of the bottom. Just ditched out. Gonna go turn in the crystal, looks like. Not interested in Marsh Cave. Leggy is finding her way down. Burt is finding his way down. One fine day is down a red mage, so we're down to 2 red mages now. First look at the crystal item from Asher, and we have access to Sky Tower, or to Mirage Tower, but not terribly much else. That is just the chime. So Marsh is the way to go if it's not loose.
We're about to find out soon.
Since that encounter is not randomized, we are going to find wizards there, and they are runnable, though. The runnable flag is shuffled. It's just that most elements other than thunder don't do great damage, so the Ice 3s takes 2 of them.
And there's our ship.
Alright, well
that's really what you want here, because with the free canal, that gives you access to... with the canoe, it gives them access to ordeals, it gives them access to the Melmond area with the earth incentive, the vampire chest, gives them access to the waterfall.
Well, gives them access to the Onrak and Melvin's shop, or town spots, which means that unless both Provoca and Elfland are airship locked, they'll probably get at least one of them. Yep. The other thing is Ordeals is also not incentivized, so there's not really much of a reason to go there.
Good point.
Ice was basically a blank per spell zap. Double checking that, I didn't see anything of interest either.
Yeah.
So,
and it's interesting to note he didn't do the double loop, so he didn't get the eye chest.
So he didn't get really interesting.
I mean, it's not incentivized, so it's 1 chest he's leaving behind.
Yeah, Tyrannex noting there was an Excal, but that's that's fine.
Excal is fine. It's something that you want before you hit go mode, is a sword that can do damage to endgame bosses. It's not most people's favorite, but it's serviceable, and
it does get the job done on everything but chaos very efficiently. It's since we have weapon fixes, I know a lot of the things about this particular randomizer, if you're new to it, is that it fixes a lot of the things that were kind of broken in the original coding. And one of those is weapon crit rates, because it was supposed to be that the weapons were supposed to have specific crit rates. Instead, they had crit rates based on their location in the weapon table. So Excalibur, being right near the end of the weapon table, was supposed to have a low crit rate but high damage to any weakness, and instead ended up with a fairly ridiculous crit rate, and didn't get the damage bonus, but at least did good damage.
yeah. It does, on the other hand, it does benefit from those weapon fixes, because that damage from any weakness is actually relevant, like, against pretty much anything except chaos. And so, like, once you class change, it'll be a very good sword right up until you hit chaos, basically. I believe Kraken 2 and Tiamat 2 also... Carry 2, Kraken 2, Tiamat 2 also have no weaknesses. So...
Yep. But they also don't have, like, chaos levels of absorb, usually, so you can usually still make Excalibur work pretty well. Lich 2 is still weak to Earth, oddly enough.
Was there a loose adamant? There was a loose adamant at the bottom of Marsh.
Oh, that's kind of gross.
In the last chest.
Did Leggy pick up the ship as well?
Leggy did pick up the ship as well.
Okay, so that's good.
Now she's turning in her adamant, and then she'll head down to get her to board the ship and start sailing around. Oh my! Maybe she won't go board her ship.
Maybe she'll just go...
Oh no!
Oh no, that's a loose floater. Oh my. Well, friends, I hope you like Dip in Marsh Cave, because Marsh Cave has the business end of the business tonight.
I just fell back in my chair.
I don't blame you for that one. Well, folks, Leggy is gonna have a demonstrable advantage here. All of our progression is in Marsh Cave, and oh man, Bert's about to sail literally everywhere, isn't he?
You know what? It's possible because we know where Gaia and we know where Gaia is. We know where
Onrak
Crescent
is.
We know where Onrak is. There's
Yeah.
only one other town that even has a key item.
Melmond also matters.
Melmond matters too. Okay, so
Since with the problem is with Melmond, Lafine, and potentially Provoca with three towns left. One of those is at least one of those is airship locked.
Depends on if the airship locked key item is relevant.
Correct. If the slab is available to us, we're gonna see those towns pretty quickly here. But let's see Gaia. Gaia is Lafine, so we know that is airship locked. So if we need the slab, we will need the airship. We've got One Fine Day heading due west, probably to Marsh Cave. Burt Reynolds is stocking up on spells here and found Elfland at the Melman spot. So we now know that there is a chance that we definitely will need the airship this seed, which is a little bit frightening. Asher's going to go do the early check in Volcano, as our runners are just everywhere right now. So if One Fine Day does not grab the adamant out of here, then he's going to be in that same terrifying boat at this point in time that Burt Reynolds is in, sailing the seven seas to nowhere, because he's going to get the rod from turning in the ruby as well. We have access to everything without the floater too.
It's just the slab item we don't know about, right?
Right now, the slab item is inaccessible without airship. We don't know if it's Melmond or Provoca that is locked out as well in the Lafine spot. So
Level 4 Fate is another, like, that's a class change locked spot for the red mage.
Yeah, it's not half bad. Nuke's not at 4 either. It's Ice 2, so Tail is going to be kind of nice to have here. Asher finding Peds in the volcano, which is probably making him pretty happy, but he's not terribly interested in fighting them. I think without Exit, that kind of makes some sense.
An ice sword in that better trap treasure chest is actually kind of nice.
Yeah, no, we want that, that's for sure. That'll upgrade the fighting capability of the fighter here, and he's going to continue draining his healing potion stash here. One fine day does get the ship, dealing with the wizards by turning tail and running, which is definitively the correct call here. Is the adamant in the top right chest? That's gross.
Yeah, it was in the very last chest of Bottom Marsh.
I don't blame Bert for skipping. I've skipped this chest more times than I care to admit. This one. It stings to see it, but I know why.
And it's something that, like, he's not going to come back for a very long time.
Nope. Adamant for one fine day does not forget.
I'm just rooting for some floaterless clears. You got burned once on Top Marsh and never again in Tyrannex. It seems like that might happen to some of our runners tonight.
Let me get burned on Upper Marsh. I've done it too many times, as you care to admit.
Here's the place I always get burned on is Upper Armory, like the very back chest and Armory.
That's fair. That's a tough one, too. Our runners are even being very thorough in checking Titan's Trove as well. But with the rod in hand, both Bert and Leggy have decided to make way to Earth Cave. Asher is on second dive of Volcano here, so they're probably looking to go deeper, not having found anything of interest yet other than that Ice Sword.
Is that those are death asps.
Are those DT asps? Oh no.
Those are death-touching asps. Just wiping out 2 of Burt Reynolds' party, and he resets.
He's done with this today, and I don't honestly blame him. Asher just trying to dip in right now. So one fine day done with Marsh Cave. Of course, going to go turn in that adamant eventually and be a very happy camper.
There's a katana in that trapped chest in the north of Earth. That's not a bad find.
I mean,
particularly
Leggy,
for our thief runners in Leggy and Asher. Well,
yeah,
when
Leggy
Asher gets to it.
Yep, Leggy is definitively on thief comp here, so you don't ever feel unhappy with that. Crusader Kakalot in chat, and that's why I hate Earth. Well, it's never not Earth. You always go into Earth Cave. Earth Cave is the best. I don't know what you're talking about. My experiences with Earth Cave is that it is the best dungeon in the game by a wide margin, and you should never not go there.
Oh, it's the spiders that have Stone Touch, because we just saw it again.
That means Stone Touch is on the Medusa script, doesn't it?
No, because there's no Medusa script for that. It was a spider in TOF.
Oh, was it? But we also saw Stone Touch from something else, didn't we?
No, we saw an ability from something else.
What, from Frostwolves had an ability that turned stone?
Yeah.
Or
maybe it was spiders that had an ability, but they just turned someone in Leggy's party to stone. She's actually not going to dive Earth. She just wanted to check those top 5 chests.
She wanted to roll the dice a little bit. That's interesting with the rod in hand. I guess she saw the Death Touch asps and got turned off of the play.
Yeah, Death Touch asps and spiders that stone your party.
Without level 2 magic, I think she's more interested in finding the rest of the towns on this map and maybe doing a little bit more looting. One fine day sailing the 7 seas here. Rest of party dead, only fighter alive. Fighter stun touched by imps. Having none of that, just walks away, resets, trying again. Asher has the thief down. I don't know if that's intentional or not, if that thief's going to get back up anytime soon, but is working on these peats.
One fine day has sailed up to Matoya, and then will sail over to turn in the adamant and collect his floater.
Unless he forgets.
Unless he forgets to turn in the adamant. But he did pick up the adamant, and, like, having the ship, this was kind of the better routing for him.
Legitimate. Leggy is working over some giants with ice magic here on the way to Lafine, so trying to pick up some extra experience. Asher knows that there's gold bracelets and pro rings here and stocks up a little bit. Asps still have death touch, and they're not... there they go. That took him a second.
Oh no, and taking out the white mage, which is the source of life too. Although it doesn't have life too, it doesn't have access to that yet. So
It's a source of Cure 4, but Cure 4 does not help when your characters are dead.
he's like looking at his inventory and thinking a little bit. There is that pro ring, but
Doesn't really help you
this might be a difficult dive with what he's got left.
Yeah, Earth Cave's gonna be a little bit scary. I mean, part of the plan might end up being level up until the Asps are running from you and not killing your party instantly.
Oh, it's red mage, black mage left. He's just gonna reset out with that.
Yeah, no shame in that. He's well and done there, because Earth Cave has rebutted him.
Yeah, saw enough to get a pro ring.
So, exit slot 3, heal 3, slot 2. We got Nuke in slot 1 here, and Temper in slot 2, so... Well, Black Mage is going to get both, but the Red Mage is only getting the one, I think.
No, red wizard gets both.
Okay, so we need promotion for both. Alright, well...
But Nuke is the one you want now, and Temper's the one you need at the end of the game, so it's fine.
So you're happy about the order of operations here. On the flip side of the coin, that's Melman, so we know that the only town remaining out there is going to be Provoca, sitting at the on-rack spot, and we know that the slab is completely floater-locked.
Yep.
Floaterless clear is still in play right now.
No, once you had Asps with Crack and Cockators with Death Touch, it was the longest Earth Shrine of your life. That sounds pretty miserable.
I mean, there was that seed that I rolled that Sea Snakes had Blaze, and it was 4-hit Death Touch Lobsters.
Yeah, Death Touch Lobsters seem to be a pretty popular one for you to roll.
It's also pretty redundant usually, but, 6 of 1.
I mean, they don't really kill your fighter without Death Touch.
That's also fair.
Purchasable Oxyale at the Bazaar.
Like, he's going to throw down 13 grand for that immediately, not even thinking about it. Who cares? It's half my paycheck. I need it. It's good.
And she's closing in on that 12 key item.
Yeah, One Fine Day is closing in on taking to the skies. Asher is closing in on the ship here. We'll see if he decides to gamble or if he decides to stick it out. I think he's going to stick it out, and he's going to get heavily rewarded.
Yep. With this key item in Provoca and the one up in Waterfall, I think that'll be 12 for Leggy.
Getting off to a flying start there for sure. Wow, that is... Just leave that white magic shop. Let's not even talk about it. We're going to make believe that doesn't exist.
I didn't see what it was. Was it like lamp
it was
some anti-spells?
You didn't need to see it to know that's exactly what it was. It was A-Mute, it was A-Ice, it was A-Lit, and it was Lamp, and we are going to leave that garbage behind forever. Well, level 2 was kind of a bust. Fire 3 and Bane, but, nothing terribly exciting otherwise.
That does mean Fire, Ice, and Lit 3 are in the first 2 levels.
It also means that Life 1 is going to be at level 8, because we have not seen it yet. It's either at level 7 on-rack or level 8, and so it's gone. So, good luck Topher, I guess. No Cure 4, no Heal 3.
So earlier when I had that reaction to the locked floater, I actually broke my chair.
Did you break your chair, Sil? Do you need to buy a new chair?
I broke my chair over the loose adamant leading to floater.
How broken is your chair, by the way?
The back is entirely off.
Oh, jeez.
That is the reaction of the back of Marsh, a loose item leading to floater. Everyone.
Man, it seems like a lot of these interesting flags at loose items for 2020 is going to be real interesting. Fast was at level 3 for Black Magic with Warp, which is honestly really nice.
Some real good utility spells. I would actually feel pretty comfortable just going and tangoing with with carry at that point.
Well, we don't know it's carry, though.
Oh, right. I was talking about that. Wow. Yeah, that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so of course the other thing again is that if we have a very complicated or difficult Temple of Fiends Revisited in front of us, even at 200% scaling, 3 of our runners get no resets on characters. Wow, that's a free... Waterfall is very free right now. The door is right within sight of the front of the dungeon with our procedural generation flag, so 100% free. Alright, so Asher is still making up some ground here. Does have the adamant in hand, though. Did not gamble it off, so is going to be very happily eventually getting to the air as well as the rest of our runners, except for Bert, who did find way to provoke a. Probably lost. Probably was very... Honestly, if you have a white mage in your party, you're real happy to see when the white magic at these low levels is garbage, honestly, because you know you're still going to get access. And there's an endgame sword in Waterfall. We do have a Vorpal sword available to us.
Still need that tail for the Vorpal sword to be usable. But that said, you usually want to... Oh wait, most of our runners don't have that X-Cal. That X-Cal was an Ice Cave.
Yep. Bottle low would lead to a key item here.
So tell me, given that they only have a single loose item remaining, and it may or may not even be a required one, like, what's your thoughts on routing? Do you want to just route in as many of the key item spots as you can, even if it's not the most efficient flight paths, or do you want to start cooking things?
Vote's warning us that we don't have that problem because the cube was free in Cardia, so we're fine. But in theoretical terms, if I were to do that, then I would be gambling still decently hard, honestly, which is kind of the worst part of it. But you might route Sky earlier, except we didn't have the cube. But Leggy does now have the cube in hand to go with One Fine Day, so Leggy is in no loose mode, at least.
No loose. Yeah, she knows where everything critical is.
Yep. Once you have the 2 loose items, I mean, the only other thing in the incentive pool that is not an incentive item is that's not a key item is an opal bracelet. So. But the tail is still pretty necessary here, and we also don't have with the airship. We do have the airship. We still need the loot to finish go mode here. We are lootless, but otherwise we have everything we need.
And she's about to pick up another key item in the back of Corneria here.
Yep. And no one's hit Castle Roar deals because it is not incentivized, and we are not going to be appearing in this film tonight. Power Stick, 992 gold, and the TNT, so we've got more fetch quests to go. The big thing is, though, is that at this point in time, knowing what we know, if you're just doing Earth, you could just casually pick up the tail along the way if it's in the vampire chest anyway.
Yeah,
the only
exactly. You're not having the risk of rodless Earth here.
Yep, the only tough spot is that if it's behind slab, do you take the time to get it because you have to fly around to Gaia and then walk down to... Oh, well, there's a slab anyway, so we might do that anyhow.
And we also know Earth is dangerous. You know what we still haven't found, though? We have an endgame sword, but we don't have any ribbons.
I was about to ask you how many ribbons our runners have. Goodness me.
It's almost like we're on the same wavelength.
It's almost like we know what the other one does usually when it comes to this game. But yes, ribbons are very important for, especially if, you can oftentimes risk it, but they give you resistance to all elements, which is really important because that's also all status effects. And it halves the damage from all spells that are elemental in nature, and of course, since it also gives you resistance to that element, it basically quarters the damage from elemental magic to a character. So, super, super good.
Asher taking flight at the... I actually just realized I don't have a timer running. We can fix that.
Burt Reynolds is going to burn out. Looks like he's going to burn out a pile of spell charges on the waterfall encounter tile, which I personally love because that's the thing I like doing. Looks like wizard mummies have stun touch. Little frightening, but not badly so. Loot. Bottle gave us the loot at Crescent Lake, by the way. So, Leggy Starscream is in go mode technically. We know that the two remaining incentives on Leggy's screen are the Opal Bracelet and the Tail. So that'll be real interesting at this point in time because, well, promotion not in the cards. Leggy also still searching for a ribbon, of course, here. Asher flying past the caravan and not stopping, so that's problematic, so not going to get the caravan check in just yet.
That can actually be a real problem because that Oxy Ale is pretty important.
Can't access Sea Shrine without it. It is necessary to finish the game. It's really easy to forget, though. I know a lot of experienced runners still forget to buy the item if it's at caravan spot, so it's important nonetheless.
I'm actually real fond of just stopping at that. It's like, oh, I need tents or cabins. I'm gonna check that before I like go to a town to do that because.
Yep.
Asher did just pick up the Oxyale though from that and is now heading into Provoca. And we seem to have a minor bug in the layout, so let me fix that while you take things.
Right, so Asher's sailing along. I'm gonna get to see that white magic shop and be real sad. I'm real sad. Every time I see that magic shop, I get real sad. Leggy's gonna get that ice sword, so at least gonna have a functional sword for now. Layout's fine, everybody. Don't worry about it. One fine day, also up here in the lovely town of Provoca, so gonna see that white magic shop, be real sad. I'm now real sad yet again. But yeah, our runners are retreading a bit of old ground, so of course, I would highly recommend that you give all 4 of our runners a follow on Twitch. They're all pretty fantastic runners, they're all pretty fantastic folk. You should follow them. They're all pretty great, and they are here to entertain you tonight. You should also follow Syl, because Syl's double dipping on work, restreaming and doing commentary, and of course you should follow Woat. Woat's pretty cool. I don't know how much he streams these days, but, you should follow him anyway.
Anyway, so here's some ground we haven't seen yet is Leggy's diving into the deeper parts of Volcano. Earlier we saw some runners check the armory floor, but I don't think we've seen anyone go deep.
Yeah, we're going to see floor 4 for the first time, which has the treasures on it. So Asher's going to see this free waterfall as well, get the key for his troubles and add it to his key ring, and we're going to see if he decides to burn some bills out on this encounter tile, or if he's just going to be good and done, because this is actually a pretty good encounter spot when you have a ton of sweet magic, but looks like his game plan is going to be to run away.
His levels are pretty low. I think he's just shy of 12 key items, too, so he might be putting it off.
Legitimate. I mean, there's always that tension between how much experience do I need to get things jump-started and how much experience do I want to put off. Leggy's putting off some of these treasure chests on the lower treasure floor here, so we'll see how that sort of plays out here, especially with her party at very low health at the moment.
She does have, she does know that there's no loose items left, so it's kind of just that one potential ribbon that she might want.
Yeah, I mean, she needs the tail, and we kind of know that that's going to come from, there's only 2 incentives remaining at this point in time, one from Earth, and I believe that is that everything? No, there's an opal bracelet out there as well.
Yeah, and she hasn't gone around doing her slab quest either.
Alright, so it's slab and earth chest. So she's gonna take down this first Agama here.
That is a Masamune in that Agama chest.
Agama fact. Agamas like to hoard swords, apparently. Well, that changes things for Leggy immensely, because, of course, with the Masamune, you don't need promotion strictly anymore, because now that, of course, changes all the calculus, because you have a sword that does, as you can see, she puts it on and dealing 4 hits for 420 damage already. The numbers are going to get real nice at this point in time. It was actually 421, but I missed the 1 on the end, I guess. She's going to protect her fighter here. Looks like the water orb. Is this Kraken? Are we getting early Kraken here?
No, it's not randomized. We just have carry.
It is not randomized. I was hoping for Kraken. Gonna pop the heal staff. Gonna fast the fighter, because Red Mage doesn't have a nuke yet. I'm gonna cast Confuse here. Carry, one thing of note with Carry is that Carry is vulnerable to status effects. So it's a big meme in the FF1 GBA community where you stick the Wizard Staff on a character and try to Wizard Staff Carry and confuse her. This time she's very confused at how dead she is. She gets one-shotted by the Masamune.
That's Masamune for you.
Yep, cast fast, kill Carry. We're on our way now. Fire orb up for Leggy as she takes the first orb of the night. Our runners are definitely still hunting around for things at this point in time. Otherwise,
yep, turning in the bottle fetches a loot.
Yeah, that was what put Leggy in go mode.
Yep, and Asher just got his.
Yep, one fine day about to snag a slab here for his troubles.
Did we see what the TNT turned? I forget what the TNT turned into. It turned into the
Oh, the TNT turned into the slab, which turned into...
we don't know yet. Got it.
Which turned into question, because nobody's done that segment of the chain yet.
Burt Reynolds is making some respectable progress without that airship, though.
Yep, and you know what? If he never finds the airship, it will be okay.
So far, it looks like that, yeah.
Well, we know the airship...
We know you're in go mode without it, so...
We know that the airship locked item is either the tail or the opal bracelet, and you do not need either of those to finish the game, so we are absolutely, positively able to go floaterless if necessary here. So we might see a floaterless clear, and we'll also get to see that a floaterless clear is real slow, sadly.
Unfortunately for Burt. Especially with the floater being somewhere that wasn't very far off from his regular travels.
Yeah, I mean, Marsh Cave's a little scary. It's sometimes, and again, that's a treasure chest that's easy to gamble off.
Burt picking up a loot. Did Asher just have to pick up his loot a second time?
I think he reset out of it the first time.
Oops.
And these things do happen on occasion, but at least he realized that it happened, so he makes sure to clean up the issue there. One fine day, adding on the loot. Yeah, one fine day. Is this going to be a slab check? Are we going to get our first look at the slab check here? Because he'll be able to translate, because he does not know what town's down here yet. And Leggy tacks on ribbon number 1 here, so we do have a fairly...
yeah, that's actually one of those, like, chests that you often see people skip, except when Better Trap Treasure is enabled. So it's kind of... We're kind of seeing the effect of that Better Trap Treasure with the, the Aghaman chest led to that Masamune, and there's the crown in Earth, but we also had that Better Trap Treasure leading to a ribbon.
Yep, so 1 ribbon on the board as well here. One fine day has a slablation here, has learned a new language. Asher did pick up the slab and is going to end up translating it in just a moment as well, which will be very nice on his part. Again, we know it's not necessary for progression, but hey. Opal bracelets are nice. Protect your mages. Keep them alive. Don't want to get your red mage back road. That's bad times. Never happens to me. Ever.
Ever. Of course.
Ever.
Of course not. There's an
Nope.
opal bracelet from Lafine.
So the crown will turn into the tail, so if Leggy does decide to drop by Astos' house and say hi and bring him a housewarming gift and say nice things about him. And kill him. We try not to talk about the killing, Silverfire. We don't. It's not cool. Okay, well, you know.
More petrification in Earth Cave from those wolf packs. There's a lot of different things that can turn you to stone in this dungeon.
I don't want to be a rock. I want to be a fighter. Leggy with one ribbon may be done with treasure chests here, we'll see. Burt Reynolds is checking the lower chests on the second floor of Earth here. One Fine Day also in Earth, so we've got 3 runners in Earth. Asher is going to go turn in the slab for translation and eventually get an opal bracelet.
You get a gold bracelet out of this room. That's not too bad.
It's a 55,000 piece of gold at this point in time because those are real expensive. There's also 13,000 gold in the room itself, so all in all, not a bad find, to be honest. And the boss here is the tentacled master of destruction himself. We found Kraken 2. Looks like it's going to be a Fog 2 cast to start to take much of the sting out of the tentacles, though. The extra armor's not gonna go amiss, as it probably saves the red mage's life there.
Oh no, not at all. Like that's real good because you know, not like it doesn't look like this Kraken 2's been doing too much lifting, only hitting for a little over 100 with all those hits.
Yeah, well, the Fog 2 got off first, which of course gave the 12 extra armor, and so all those extra hits just got nullified pretty quickly there. So another Masa Swing, the Nuke for 284. Sweet Dreams, Kraken 1. I'm sure we'll never see you again. 2 orbs now on the board for Leggy. One Fine Day, of course, has a bunch of soft potions. He's going to keep cracking them here because it keeps getting turned to stone. As Bert and One Fine Day are racing to the bottom at this point in time, and Asher's going to join them on this wonderful journey, it looks like.
Yep, but these runners are not yet in go mode. They are missing... Oh no, actually, I think that's go mode for One Fine Day, and
yep.
Bert is still missing that Chime and Oxyale, both of which are in that north area, right?
Yep. And missing the loose cube from Cardia. Oh, we do need the airship. Airship is required. Never mind.
Loose cube from Cardia.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. My brain made all the connections at one time. It was really, really wild. I'm like, oh, that you can't get there with the boat. There's no dock. Oh, Burt Reynolds is... Okay, we've gone from feels bad to feels real bad all of a sudden. Guards unrunnable. One Fine Day ribboned. So gonna pick up the first ribbon. The nukes will start flying from Leggy's hands here, but not doing a lot of damage. Gets 2 low rolls there, including a 102.
It's actually worth noting she did not opt for that tail pickup from Astos.
Did decide to skip out. Doesn't know that it's the tail, but also kind of knows that.
Doesn't
again,
she have everything else?
She does have everything. No, she never translated the slab and never got the opal bracelet that way.
Oh, okay, she never did the opal bracelet side quest either. Okay. Well, I guess looks like she might be two-manning the rest of this this place.
Yeah, the Chimeras are unrunnable and hitting decently hard here on everybody except the fighter. Just gonna have a ton of armor at this point.
Just resets out. Doesn't want to deal with the whole rest of Sky on 2 characters. It looks like she's going to do some side questing.
She's going to realize that she hasn't translated her slap yet, so she is going to go looking for... She's looking for something. I don't know what it is at this point in time. but she's on the hunt for something. All the rest of our runners are in Earth Cave. We've got a crown add-on here for Burt Reynolds.
Well, she looked for some pro rings, but they're too expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry,
she found...
She looked for a gold bracelet. It was too expensive. She bought pro rings.
Yeah, 1 gold bracelet, though, here. Already has pro rings on everybody, so was able to sell 1 to get a gold bracelet, so gonna try and get some armor on this party, but, yeah, this is a tough spot, certainly.
That 20k gold from the early game.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, honestly.
Asher having some bat problems.
That never happens.
And getting stone touched by werewolves.
Are
these just fully random touches?
These might be fully random touches, because that's 3 enemies we've seen yet. Randomize enemy status attacks, yes, so one of the newer flags that hasn't seen a lot of play out there right now is one that instead of shuffling the status touches, truly randomizes them, and they have a probability of showing up equivalent to their probability of showing up in the main game. So
of course I'm gonna roll up one with like 3 enemies having stone touch.
At least 3 enemies having stone touch. One fine day turned in the crown. Is going to go turn in this tail and going to go ahead and promote. Leggy's got a little bit more armor this time and is going to take a second shot at Mirage and Sky here. It looks like, it looks like, yeah, this is healing up for a fight here, it looks like. Nope, just healing up to kind of get to the chests on the 4th floor here instead. So, Burt Reynolds dipping down a little further.
Ooh, that's a power bonk in the back of that one.
Ooh, that's a good spot. That's not a good spot for everybody else, because that's skippable if you're in go mode. Of course, Burt Reynolds is going to be checking all the chests, because he is missing a loose item still.
Takes a warp out to save some steps there. And then running down to probably the lower room here. A lot of unrunnables in this Earth.
Yeah, Earth Cave unpleasant to say the least, as it so often is. This Mirage Tower, by the way, is not very friendly either, honestly. Like, you're burning a bunch of resources to kind of get through the first half of it here.
Meanwhile, one fine day is fighting some Sahags in the grass shrine. The purple shrine?
So, what Pokemon are we going to find here?
Well, we know it's not Carrier Kraken.
Oh man, can we catch Tiamat? Can we put Tiamat in a tiny ball?
As long as it doesn't break free.
She always does.
It's that legendary catch rate.
It's such garbage. Alright, so one fine day in Sea Shrine in Go mode is distinctly not interested in things. Like, he gets ambushed by an eye, which she's actually pretty happy about, because she's going to cut it down and, 1,200 experience points for this party. Man, levels are really tight right now. Like, he's at 16 with the bonus working right now, but she hasn't done a lot of work on getting experience.
Picks up a Sun Sword in the back of this, but already might throw it on a Red Mage, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a ribbon, I think, is kind of the thing here for most of our runners. So it looks like one fine day is going to play this out with the Excalibur at this point in time. Like, he has the Moss Immune. Burt Reynolds would need promotion to use the Vorpal Sword right now, and Asher would also need promotion to use the Vorpal Sword. There's a Bane Sword up here on the greed chests on floor 3. Puts it on the Black Mage to make the Black Mage even more powerful.
Leggy pauses for a moment there to think about whether she wants to fight these rock golems. Unfortunately, it looks like she's going to get the... Oh no, she's not going to get the Final Fantasy special, because that thief dies before even attempting to run away from the Lit 2, and then we have Fire 2 coming out. That Black Mage also almost drops. This is a 3,600 XP fight, though, for her. That is pretty nice XP when you're in the position that she's in.
Yeah, I mean, all of our runners... I think that's one of the tougher things about these flags, is that we are on We are on 2018. We are on, let's be real, even with the extra 50% at 12 key items, we are on 2018 experience scaling as well. Pretty much two times is, let's be real, it's pretty low.
I'm walking right past that patrolling Warmech.
Bye, Warmech, we love you, but we're not fighting you tonight. A gamble that you might take to get a ton of levels, but...
A risky one.
Yes, one that could cause you to wipe out a sky.
I've never done that before.
It's never happened to anybody before. No one ever wipes out a sky tower.
A katana in the bottom of Earth for Asher, which is a different katana than the other runners have found.
Yep. Asher will be able to use that with promotion, though, so... But Thief's been sort of, Thief's been taking the rest of this night off, I think. Kraken 2 doing Kraken 1 things here, it looks like.
Leggy not taking those nacho fights. I find those to be very delicious, but...
They sometimes require a lot of stamina to take them down because they might have a lot of health, so, you know.
She does have a Moz-immune, so...
This is true. But we'll see. She's going to patch up her party here. We're going to see who's the Fiend here as Burt Reynolds and Asher high five on floor 5 of Earth here. As they are looking to join one fine day in the Earth Orb Club here. And, of course, we've got Tiamat. Did not decide to get randomized today. Decided to stay at home. Which means that we are going to find Lich in Sea Shrine, which is a fairly big downgrade.
Yeah, it's not really one you have to respect very much.
I mean, you respect him long enough for him to, like, maybe throw thunder at you, which is bad, but it doesn't always happen that way. That Fire 2 that Fire 3 hit for 280, by the way. Max rolled.
Wow.
Yeah, don't cast Nuke, just cast Fire 3, it's way better. That one didn't do so good. Lich gets a participation medal for hitting the fighter for 1 damage, and then we're done here, thank you.
Asher kind of was struggling at the end of that with only 2 people left coming out of Kraken, and lands the Quad X on Kraken for an erased.
Well, like he just bashes through, like he just looks at Tiamat and goes, I've got a Moss-immune, what do you got? And Tiamat goes, damage poison, and then dies.
Looks like Leggy might be heading up to Northwest Nope. Heading up to Onrak. Okay, she's going straight to Sea Shrine. She's not she's really not interested in looking for that tail.
She's not interested in playing this video game anymore. She wants to be done, and I kind of don't blame her. She's in good position, though. Again, the hard thing is we have nearly no healing for Temple of Fiends Revisited at this point. Like, nearly none.
Yeah. She's got some Cure 2s and Cure 3s. She's going to pick up her Thief. Asher picks up his tail from Astos. Drops and looks like he's going to drop a Quad X on Astos' face.
Burt Reynolds might have seen the folly of his ways from earlier, knowing that that was the last chance for him to get the Floater Stone.
He avoided going to ice.
Yep, but he is about to get the, he's about to get some really bad news, honestly. He is going to have a feel-bad moment after these shadows decide to cremate him a couple of times.
Yeah, but I think that's also one of the things that had him running out as soon as he got items, is that this was not a safe marsh cave at all.
Nope, this marsh cave was fairly brutal. It's hard to really, you know, say you shouldn't have left because leaving was good. Just happened to be it was here. Asher gets his loose cube, so he's got his cube. He has now attained his go mode as well. Third runner to reach go mode here with just the Earth Orb under his belt. Leggy on 3 orbs, one fine day on 2 orbs. Burt is in position to get an adamant that he desperately needs here. 3, 2, 1 adamant. that long pause on the item screen is clearly the Final Fantasy randomizer equivalent of rage slashes.
You just look
You
at the item.
just let the fanfare play, and you get that moment to quiet, and you're just like, damn.
You slowly reach over to the tracker.
Check the box for the item. Take a long, deep breath and realize you could cast Warp and you're not doing it because you're on tilt.
Oh no. Oh no, there's actually a
Nope.
reason. We're
No,
looking down.
yep.
He wants to...
He wants to loot it out fully now. He's maybe hoping for a big Masamune pickup here, which we know is not going to happen, or a big Excal pickup. We also know that's not going to happen.
That particular one is one of those better trap treasure chests, so...
Yep.
And so is this one. So, you know, maybe he's hoping it's like, well, I got messed up there, but maybe I can get a ribbon for my troubles.
Yeah, maybe I can get a little something for my efforts here.
And there's a giant sword, sadly, is not what he was hoping for.
Leggy gets a light axe for her troubles. Get into the Sharknado chest, and is going to cast some Cure 3s here. I'm going to fight off this Grey Shark for the experience, it looks like.
Looks like one fine day is heading up to that Agama room. These are unrunnable Agamas. Interesting. Didn't notice that earlier. But they can be erased.
And he's going to wipe this one off the face of the earth and get Art and Japanese Steel for his troubles. Can't hold it. Nope. No, we're going to find a way. I'll drop literally anything.
An Excal, a Vorpal, and a Masamune. Those are some pretty darn geared up mages, and an Ice Sword on the 4th red mage.
Good times are had by all. In old day, had a lot of things with that lineup there. Asher heading down. Looks like his game plan is going to be to stop an on-rack with just the Earth Orb under his belt. Burt Reynolds, hour and 3 minutes in. Just taking it all in. Nice long delay on the floater stone. Slow reach over to the tracker.
Take this floater.
You could have taken it 45 minutes ago, but you decided to gamble. And sadly, it did not pay off for you tonight. And that is sometimes how the randomizer rolls out for you.
And especially with getting that ship and having so many things open, you're like, oh, now I have like, you know, literally 50 chests open to me or more.
Yeah, I'll definitely find the loose item.
I'll find the, you know, there's 2 chests left in here that I skipped. Can't be that bad, right?
Never is. Never is until it is. Looks like one fine day floating around level 17. Gonna try and take a quick look at where Leggy is in terms of levels right now as they are coming down to the home stretch of this run. That's a Lich.
The nuke Lich right back to make up for all those times in vanilla that he's nuked us.
Yeah, Lich had a ton of hit points, but took 2 nukes for over 300 on Mossa Swing for over 300, and that's, you know, 1,000 damage is going to kill 200% Lich no matter what. Leggy looks like she is getting herself to 59 potions so that she can buy back to 99. As this looks like it's time to get prepared for the big dive here. One fine day is going to do the slab drop here and get his opal bracelet.
I don't hate having the opal bracelet for this. Also, I don't think he's ever been here, so he'll also be picking up Nuke. Oh no, he's picking up Temper, that's what it is.
Right, Temper is the spell of choice here. Because we need that buffing power for Temple of Fiends here, especially because he's going to be doing it. I mean, he's going to do it on the Masamune, thankfully, but you know, right now he's got the Excal out there for his
yeah,
on his fighter still.
So you can have 3 competent melee characters.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds taking to the skies, and so start doing some shop checks and drop-offs, and it looks like he is on his way to translate his slam.
And One Fine Day is heading over to his final Fiend dungeon. And
Leggy's gonna make the stop here. She is gonna she's gonna grab her tail.
I'd be pretty happy to see the tail right now, even if, she's not going to have any spells on her ninja or her knight.
But there were really none that were so important that you'd feel bad about not having them.
Yeah, I like having Ice 3 for Topher.
Yep, but it's like no fast. Well, you get fast on the thief, but that's not even that great, honestly. Nukes at 5. The white magic was all locked out. Yeah, everything's looking good. So Leggy is at about an hour 6, dipping deep, going into Topher, first dive. Not a lot of levels under her belt. I mean, Thief 275 hit points, Red Mage 320.
Yeah, I don't think she's even at level 24 for
20.
the fighter.
No, she's barely at level 20 if she's there.
And here's that Vanilla Phantom, because although it's not marked as unrunnable.
Yeah, we don't fight Phantom. Phantom's not worth the experience points. Maybe she's looking to get lucky with a consolation ribbon here. There is no ribbon found.
Look at how little gear she has on that fighter too.
A chainmail, a silver armor, a pro ring, a ribbon.
Didn't turn in her tail either, even though she's got the opal armor floating around.
Yeah, and you look at the armor on the armor on the thief is literally a pro ring. Her party's level 19.
She's hoping for just a paper-thin TOFR.
Yep. And Nicolette at the 3x scaling we're at, Phantom is now worth 3 experience points. One fine day down a red mage already here in
Burt Reynolds.
In Mirage.
Yep, Burt Reynolds
Opal
going on the hip, pick up that opal bracelet, and
he's gonna strap it onto one of his characters here. Asher has 2 orbs lit, having taken down the sea shrine here, and is going to keep on loading up here. Yeah, this is kind of the one challenge of these really low scale flags.
Oh my goodness.
That's perfect. That's completely perfect right now. If she could just take her party through the rest of this. Nope, she unstones the black mage.
Yeah, it's certainly an idea there to leave the Black Mage Stone so that you have access to that temper guaranteed when you hit Chaos.
Yep. Burt Reynolds adding on Oxael to his list of things to do, so he's got access to the Shrine of the Sea now.
Yeah. Leggy's going to be leaning real hard on this Fog 2, I think, for Kraken carry Tiamat in particular, I think.
That feels like a good play. It's just a matter of you got to kind of get your Red Mage out of this alive at this point. Good to see some heal staff use, just keep the party topped up as far as possible. Good timing on that fast charge there. Sifn hits 655. Lich gets dusted. We pay Lich 1 fast charge worth of respect and move on.
With fast level 3 there and not really competing for any big AoEs, you're pretty happy just dropping in on everything.
Yep, just cash that check, right? You can't take it with you when Kraken decides to kill your mages, so you might as well spend it.
Meanwhile, some Agama facts.
Agama's like getting in your way.
What exactly is Burt still opening these chests for? He's still looking for
Second Loose.
key items. Second Loose still hasn't, but that means he hasn't checked the Cardia chests after getting his airship?
Yep. That happens. I mean...
I wouldn't be sad to see a white shirt, though. Wow.
Not a bad pickup at all. I mean, it's going to add a little bit of extra safety to things here. Just going to put it on the white mage for the armor as well. Oh well, can't yet. Hasn't promoted, but
Yeah, so he's gonna head up to that Cartier at some point. I assume he's gonna promote. There's no reason not to, and there's a lot of reasons to do it.
Yep.
Especially
A lot of safety.
Question in chat: how this game works as far as races go? Whenever you use an inn, a tent, or a cabin or a house, you can save your game there. And in fact, power cycling is a commonly done thing to avoid encounters. The specifics of it are a little more technical than that, but basically you can power cycle while using tents, cabins, or houses on the overworld to skip fighting encounters and just like run through the overworld without fighting anything. So runners save a lot is basically what it does.
Yep. Runners are saving pretty constantly, honestly.
But it does mean that, like, if you wipe deep in Temple of Fiends Revisited, like we saw on Leggy's screen...
Life bad, game hard.
Yep. That's gonna put her alongside...
Yeah, it's gonna put her basically dead even with One Fine Day. What took Leggy out down there, though? I mean, other than the fact that she's like level 18. She reset out. So things were going south and she wanted out.
Yeah, using too many resources, taking too much damage. Oh, she doesn't have that katana anymore. I think she sold it for cash.
Yeah, that's fine, though.
Yeah, I mean, she's not relying on that thief to carry, really.
Yeah, she's got a Vorpal Sword, too, so at least she's got a backup. It's not ideal, but it'll get the job done. The big thing here now, though, is I think her game plan is going to be to kind of grind it out a little bit here, because, again, our healing resources are literally nil.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about these unrandomized grind tiles, like, her choices to grind are, like, probably just jump into TOFR and then warp out when she's got the XP she wants.
Yeah, all the really strong static grinds are hard to get to. Blue Dragons just aren't worth enough experience, honestly. Eyes are super deep in Ice Cave.
Blue Dragons are on par with
good.
Eyes, but there's still kind of a walk to get to a mediocre...
Yeah. Not having the enhanced ability to grind from the fully randomized plus shuffled trap tiles from there's a flag that upgrades them basically, that it adds additional encounters to that pool, and we don't have that on right now.
Does pick up Fade on her Red Wizard, which is a real nice pickup.
Yep, gotta get that extra little bit of sweet power there for sure.
Quad X.
So,
not going for picking up Lock, though.
We're still hunting around right now. Like, he's doing some preparation. Now the decision, though, is like, you're level 19-ish at this point. And you're not getting a quick kill against Carrie, it looks like, so what do you do? I'd hate to say it, this is why I will so often reroll for White Mage for a locked-out big heal spell at level 1.
Yeah, I mean, having Fog 2 on the Knight will be valuable if she actually gets some spell charges to cast it. Oh, is Asher? Yes.
Yes.
Let's get some
Asher...
Warmech hype.
Asher's decided that he needs the experience points more than he needs his party alive, it looks like. So we're gonna see Warmech real quick. So Warmech has enough armor to take the Vorpal shot. Fire 3, so vent some plasma. Gonna do some good damage here. Fast up on the fighter now to go with that first temper charge. Gonna cast Cure 3 on the Black Mage and try to keep him alive. Get off that second temper charge. So we got 2 temper charges on the fighter with the fast. 6 for 216 with crits. It's not ideal. Gotta try and keep this party alive. out of big ticket spells on the Black Mage here. 6 for 4. Wow. Paper Warmech, 16,000 experience points. Asher is, if nothing else, holding a lead in experience over everybody right now.
Yeah, very close to that level 22 for the 4th Vorpal swing. And given that he doesn't have the option for Masamune, he's definitely going to be using that Vorpal as his endgame sword.
Yep. Burt Reynolds did pick up the Masa along the way, though, just now, so he's gonna, looks like he's going to maybe blister some Agama. One Fine Day shows about as much respect as he needs to Lich, as he held A and let Lich die.
Well, he's actually casting... It looks like he's casting Lit 3s on Lich.
Yeah, I mean, Asher's going to be feeling pretty good about that, though. That extra experience across the party is definitely going to go and really make things work out. He's been on a 3-man party for a while as well. That Thief's been dead for a long time, so that's the other thing. It's getting better experience distribution than everybody else across those 3 characters. On the other hand, Leggy is finding some gas dragons on the way down and is going to kill them for their experience. Let's see what Carrie's got going on here. So Fog 2 comes out initially. Carrie's going to fire off a Lit 2. Again, with 1 ribbon, your mages are all very vulnerable to that. The Fog 2s are nice. Going to have infinite armor against this carry at this point. Going to do some A-button holding. Carrie pops the nuclear here and decides does not pop any of the red mages. The rolls are fine.
Yeah, that's what got... I guess that must have been what got Leggy's party.
Yeah, I mean, a nuclear is going to pop a squishy party pretty fast here, and we are going to see some Quad X's coming out, hoping to get the erasure. And, well, Carrie gets removed from the timeline permanently. And the heal potions will flow. Let's see how many we go through at this point. Burt Reynolds is deciding to slam some Agama here. I'm going to try and get some levels on this party. Leggy is going to start dive number 2, it looks like, in just a moment. Metal Slime's no zap. That could be bad, but Asher gets away on the Bridge of Destiny, so everything's fine.
Lost the ninja to that. No, I already had lost the ninja.
Yeah, Ninja's been dead for a while now. Finds another pack of Metal Slimes. This time he's going to cast Fire 3.
One fine day getting a first strike against a big pack of waters.
Yes, we'll see you later, friends.
You're real happy about stuff like that.
Yeah, because you're going to run, and you're going to run, and you're going to like it. And so we're going to top off real quick. We're going to get our first look at the Gatekeeper himself. The man with the good cape.
You know, this triple red mage comp, it's spam and Fog 2.
4 for 281 with no buffs, by the by, so looks like there may just not need to be any buffing here. Well, nope, red mage goes down anyway. That first Fog 2, not quite enough. 6 hits for 409, so Kraken decided that in the past 2,000 years was eating his Wheaties back then. We're going to get some more Fog 2 charges here. 6 for 127 on the fighter is a lot more palatable, honestly.
Gonna finally drop the fast.
Yeah, gonna drop one more Fog 2 here. Got plenty out of them, not gonna stop there. Asher, 3rd orb from Sky on the table. Burt Reynolds checking the Red Dragon chest, not getting terribly much, and is gonna go ahead and try and take on let's just carry one unrandomized if I remember correctly.
This is an unrandomized carry down here.
Yep, finds some airs, gets away after party gets dinged up a little bit, but plenty of heal potions still, sitting on above 40. So, in fantastic shape for resources right now. Leggy warped out and grabbed her experience point, so she took some experience for herself here. Tiamat opening up on Fire 3, so gonna sting this party pretty good without their elemental protections. 10 for 156 without any tempers, but the fast on. So out comes a Cure 3 on the Red Mage. 9 for 411 damage with 2 crits. Oh wow, the fighter gets hit 5 hits from 5 hits from Tiamat 2. Oof. Oh, the power is real here, folks. That black mage or that red mage is toast. 10 hits for 666 on the backswing though, and everything's a-okay. But
it's a scary thing to go into chaos with no evasive spells.
2/3 of your mage line is down.
Yeah, you only have the one to cast fast. No power bonk on one fine day either, so this is going to be a toss-up. Take it.
Yeah, decides to flip the party around, puts the red mage out in front because, well, we need the fighter alive. If the red mage gets tagged early, I mean, you hope that they get the fast, at least gets the temper off. Opens on Blaze, 200 damage. The fighter has the ribbon, takes 50. But again, waning health, 4 for 208. Good news. Not super tough chaos in terms of armor.
This red mage doesn't know fast.
This red mage did not learn fast.
Like he didn't need it on all 3 of them?
Nope. Quad X comes out. That's all fine and good, though. There's a swing for 5 for 456. So the damage output's fantastic. That's what we're really looking for here. Drops the Thunder, drops the red mage, but I don't think he cares. That's a 5 for 907. Chaos still alive. 5 for 510. Chaos still alive. Chaos rolling near maximum health. One more time, folks. 5 for 596. Chaos still alive. Oh no! Chaos with the Cure 4 backing it up, and this race not yet over. Chaos tags the fighter for 171. Oh no, Cure 4 Swirl is going to take out the fighter. Chaos on the ropes decides to go, oh yeah, by the way, I got an ace in the hole. Pulls out the ace, drops the fighter after Cure 4. That's a brutal loss.
That is rough, because
no.
that chaos was just getting
away massacred.
It's like, I've taken 3,000 damage. It's time to pop this.
Yeah, I got this in my back pocket. I got 1 charge. I promoted tonight. I got 1 charge of Cure for him to use it right now, and healed for over 3,000 hit points. Well, not really 3,000 hit points, right? I mean, it's 200%. It could have been over 3,000 hit points.
It was over 2,000 hit points.
It was definitely over 2,000 hit points. That's gross. We hate it. You hate to see it happen, but that's how this randomizer be sometimes. So Leggy now on carry 2, so she is making her second dive happen finally. Asher has all 4 orbs lit, by the way, so he is going to be stocking up on some material spells here and getting set up for his first dives. Burt Reynolds found the cube, so he is got his cube. He still needs the Oxyale, I believe. I don't know if he has that yet. Like he's going to try and ice down these waters, but they have a ton of hit points. Asher did not get the Moss Immune.
Correct. Asher's going with just the Vorpal and Katana, which isn't a bad lineup, so...
Nope.
I'm not too sad about it.
I mean, you've got plenty of buff spells, so you've got two Black Casters, so you should be fine there. Burt Reynolds is going to get Life 2 here, so... Life 2 does not protect you from Chaos Cure 4ing and then murdering your party one by one, though, so you gotta be a little careful about that.
Life 2 would have given access to that fast, which would have made Chaos die twice as fast. And so
which would have made Chaos die.
Yeah.
So down goes the ninja for Leggy here as she's trying to set up and decides whether she wants to burn off a nuke charge on Kraken 2 here or not. Looks like the answer is yes, and it looks like it was...
That Fog 2 definitely saved that Red Mage. 2 Fog 2s for 24 additional absorb, reducing the 8 swings by 200 damage, living with 93 health.
More than enough. Everything's fine. No ninja for the rest of the night for Leggy if she gets through on this dive, but that's probably okay. Asher on the upper floors here. We've got one fine day looking at the Grey Worm, which means that he is on fire floor right now, so he is making quick work of this at this point. Leggy finds vampires, gets away. She's going to have to patch up the party one more time, but on 64 heal potions, she is flush with resources, so no problems here.
Saving some fog charges for Chaos on that night.
Yeah, it might be a triple fog to start on, or double fog for the Chaos fight.
Yeah, that's what got her through the Kraken.
Yep.
Oh no. Sorry if that was preemptive, but that red mage goes down. This Tiamat's been really, really lifting, and without those extra fog 2s, the red mage just takes a huge beating.
Yep, the fire 3 coming out is not a big deal here, so at least gets a respite here. Maybe the swing will do the job. Nope, not quite there yet. Nope, the crit hit there for 249, and so we've got Leggy through, but only half her party is going to make it down as Kraken exacts a toll and Tiamat does the same.
This seems to be a common theme of only half the party getting to Chaos.
I heard White Mage is a good class sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, on 200% scaling, you're not thinking that you need a White Mage, honestly. You're thinking that you're going to get some breaks on the way down.
Uh-oh. That Black Mage almost dropped to this Nightmare.
Yeah, that is a stunned Black Mage. That's a problem. Gets away finally. Heal your Black Mage. Unless she's got a count of the floors, and she's fine, but good boy. Yes, they do. Yes, all of the bosses of Emperor Visari, if you leave and come back, those are encounter tiles just like any other encounter tile in the game, so if you walk back over them, you will hit the encounter again. Heal staff on the Black Mage, so gonna take some pains here. So here we go. It is our second look. The Black Mage going to get thrown in front for Leggy because we all love a good sacrifice. Fast comes out, Fog 2 coming out, so going to get a little bit of protection, but not terribly much. Fire 2 is what you want to see here, but again, we know puts him one step closer to the big Cure 4. 2 temper charges is going to start burning them into the fighter as well. Blaze is going to ding up the Black Mage, but good roll. 8 for 411, temper out, so we're going to see some really nice damage here. We're going to see one more temper charge, it looks like, and we're going to see one more swing away. 2 temper charge and fasted fighter this time for Leggy Starscream, so 711 damage. Black Mage gets tagged. Goodbye, Black Mage. We're down to the fighter. 684 on that swing. We're going to add on another 684. Fire 2 comes out again, one step closer to Cure 4. 684. There's 936 on the crit. There's Cure 4. Here we go. Now we got to do some damage, folks. And here's the first swing afterwards. It's 1054. Leggy working through Chaos now at 1500. Thunder comes down. 300 hit points to go. 1017 on that swing. Chaos fasts himself, which means if Chaos gets turn order, could kill Leggy here. 743. Swirl out. 115 health. One more swing. Leggy gets turn order again. Down goes Chaos. 585 damage on the final swing. Leggy Starscream is your winner tonight. First place run, 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 43 seconds. Unbelievable. Is that Leggy's first win in a community race?
It might be.
It might just be. What a beautiful run at it. Having the fast ends up being the difference, as you noted that one fine day's one red mage, the living red mage did not have fast, was not able to fast the fighter in the moment of need, and so ended up not doing enough damage when the Cure 4 went off. What a finish. What a run.
Wow, that is a tense Chaos fight, and that's what we're looking for here with these low-level Temple of Fiends Revisited runs.
Yeah, she did a little bit of grinding to get up to like level 22 and ended up paying off in spades there. Had just enough to kind of get through alive.
Yeah, and not only that, but spent little enough time grinding that she's still in front of One Fine Day, who's past Tiamat?
I think is about to hit Tiamat. No, it would be about to hit it because this encounter came before.
Okay.
And we are joined by our community race winner, Leggy Starscream.
Congrats on your win.
I'm breathing now. This is wild.
So, how about doing 6,000 damage to Chaos?
Oh. When I saw that Cure 4 come out, I was not ready.
No one was ready. One Fine Day got caught by it as well, but he only had one red mage and one fighter, but his red mage did not have fast available, so his buffs had all died.
No.
So he was going at it with the Moss Immune and doing just fine, because not a ton of Absorb on Chaos, and then all of a sudden, Chaos is sitting there going, I've taken about 2,900 damage. I'm good. hits the Cure 4, hits the Swirl, and let's go home.
Yeah, I'm just lucky that I got some really low rolls on Chaos's spells. Shoutouts to having a ribbon.
Yep, everyone has the same ribbon. Everybody only found the one.
One person found a different ribbon, I think, because I know somebody skipped that chest, I believe.
I didn't think so, but okay. But close enough. Everyone only has one anyway. So Asher popping up the party here at this point in time, so is going to fight Lich 2. One Fine Day is on the backside with a stoned red mage here, trying to get away with these rock golems who are breathing fire all over his party. A last step encounter doesn't get anybody, but the problem here is, healing magic, not too tight, thankfully. Those Cure 2s and Cure 3s coming in handy. As it's time for
very last heal potion.
To the very last drink we stand, but we're out of drinks, everybody. It's time for fights.
So what parties did everyone take?
One Fine Day is in there on Tri-Red with a fighter. Everyone took a fighter. One Fine Day is in there on Tri-Red. Burt Reynolds is on Rainbow and is about working his way up to get his 4th orb right now. He's about to hit Sky. He got the floater at 1 hour and 3 minutes, so you can kind of tell the kind of night he ended up having. He sailed everywhere. Asher is on the same party you are. He's on Fighter, Thief, Red, and Black, so no life magic at all, no Cure 4. Also had the Thief Dan most of the way, so the rest of the party's around level 24.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw that Cure 4 at White Locked, I almost reset for a Rainbow Fighter.
Yep, Asher finds these worms here in Temple of Fiends, and down goes the ninja, so he is down a character already that cannot come back.
Oof.
And now One Fine Day is here with
clinical chaos fight. With two mages alive, dumped all their tempers, throwing some Cure 3s to make sure if the red mages die, then, the fighter's topped off for the end of it. But that fighter just doesn't need the help anymore with an 1800 damage, 10-hit swing to chaos.
Yeah, we're not seeing Cure 4 at this point. We're just going to do all the damage at one time. Down goes Chaos at 130, 144.
That's how you kill healers, right? You burst them?
Yeah, you stun them and you burst them, but if you can't stun them, at least you burst them.
Yeah. Always focus the healer.
I'm walking away from this conversation.
We're chasing our white mage away.
I'm just letting her know I'm focusing on her.
Alright. Where were we? We were somewhere.
One Fine Day
finishing.
Yeah,
I was kind of curious where my overall standing throughout that race was, because
you were in a clear lead for pretty much everything until you took that first wipe. Then One Fine Day had passed you for a little while because he was on your heels in TOF.
Swung by you.
Swung past you when you wiped, and then got to Chaos and wiped. And so even though he had a longer TOF than you, but you were taking up that grind, and you managed to keep that grind short enough that that he didn't pass you.
Speaking of grinding here, Asher is burning off some spell charges in TOF, wants some more levels here before the probably going to exit out and reset here.
Yeah, with the vanilla spike tiles, I was definitely concerned with where I was going to do my grind there at the end.
Yep. Bert decided to slam some Agamas down while he was down in Volcano.
Yeah, Asher, meanwhile, is choosing to just beat up some okay men.
They're okay, I guess.
Yeah, and with the Ice 3 at level 1, there's also the Ice Weak Green Dragons.
Yeah, those are where the money's at, honestly.
We also saw Asher take out Warmech, though, for some beautiful XP. So he's actually already level 26.
Warmech's armor plates were not very much, honestly. Bert's lit up orb number 4, so he is ready to rock and ride now at 1 hour 34:10, so he's going to get access to the temple now. Asher.
No one taking advantage of those full heal houses. Oh, he's filling up on
heal potions.
Party members.
Party members. I'm gonna get my thief back. Gotta get my ninja back. He's gotta take a hit on. Gotta keep him alive long enough to get him down to Kraken too.
At least Carry too. Carry hit pretty hard too. So I actually have a question. You had the tail in hand, and you still and an opal armor in your inventory. You had very little equipment on you in terms of armor. Why'd you decide to go into TOF like that? It was like the 1 hour 7 minute mark when you took your first step into TOFR like that.
Because if the fiends were squishy, it would be amazing, and if not, I honestly had a little bit of breathing room, so I knew that if I wiped, I was going to go promote and just slap that good armor on. But I wanted to try the cheeky dive. It was only 200% scaling, so we saw the worst that happened.
We did.
Yeah, you got slugged by a fiend and shipped home.
Nuclear hurts regardless of armor.
It does.
There's only one way to stop nuclear, and that's have hit points. We are joined by our second place finisher as well, One Fine Day. Taking the bad break of course, being the first runner on Chaos, and then basically having Chaos to one swing, which is a little bit tough. But other than that bad ending, I mean, overall, how do you feel about your run?
I did Ice Cave unnecessarily. I forgot about the incentive, so I don't feel too good about it. But I knew somebody had wiped. Everybody had wiped because I feared somebody would have finished by time, while I was in Topher, probably about halfway through. I figured somebody would finish.
Yeah, I mean, Leggy had actually wiped on Carrie due to losing multiple characters to nuclear. So her wipe was sufficiently early that even though she got into 2F before you, she still had enough time to like get a couple levels and go back in, because she was like the very early level 19 dive.
Well, that makes sense if you have the means to do it. If you have the means to do it, 19 is
it was basically, it's like, are the fiends made of paper?
Yeah, if we roll a bunch
you gotta go for the cheeky dive, and then I knew Carrie 2 had nuclear, and I needed to grind.
The only tough thing is I don't always agree with the cheeky dive when you have no life magic or cure 4.
I was triple red, so I would have dived early if I had the ability to do so. But I knew I was behind, so I figured I would pick up some levels and try to hit 24 on the night.
Yeah, you just hit it right as you got right near the bottom of 2F2, right?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yes, that was lined up real nicely.
Make it work, right?
No.
So, our other two runners are just one floor apart. Asher is working on these, I believe, these unrunnable Agama here on fire floor, and we've got the stone touching gray Medusas here on earth floor for Burt Reynolds, who's going to take them down for a little bit of extra juice here.
So, I have to say, I found the loose adamant in Marsh to be hilarious. Because
Syl broke their chair.
Because behind the Death Touch Wizards, the French vanilla Death Touch Wizards was a completely useless ship.
Yep, and Burt Reynolds, like, having lost some party members to that ship, or to that, like, limps out of,
Yep, limped out without the adamant, because stopped checking chests and just left gambling off the backside, the top right corner chest, which is normal.
Especially when you're, like, reeling and after having lost multiple party members. But, managing to still look like that he's gonna put together an okay time. These Agamas are kind of obnoxious, being unrunnable. But
yeah, I mean, but again, Burt Reynolds just a floor behind Asher at this point in time. I'm gonna give that Thorhammer a little bit of use, cast some ice 3s here.
Where was the Thorhammer?
I have no idea. It was probably somewhere that only Burt checked because of having to check every loose chest for a lot longer than other runners.
Yeah, literally none of us know where the Thorhammer was. It sort of materializes in your inventory when you get a White Wizard. That's how that works, right? You promote and you get a Thorhammer with your promotion free of charge. Marsh lower left. I didn't even know there was a treasure chest there.
That's one of the 3 locked rooms.
It's a joke, Silverfire. I know there's a chest there.
Yeah. You do that to me every time, and I fall for it every time.
There's so many things that we're on the exact same wavelength about, but that one I can catch you with every time. Asher not having a great time down here in TOF, by the way. Kraken is hungry and is eating party members left and right. Already down to half the team at this point in time. No safeties, no outs.
Alright, well, we're going to just focus on our last 2 runners. Finishing up, Asher about to head into the Tiamat fight. But with only 2 characters left, this might be a little dicey. He does have a lot more levels than we had on Leggy or One Fine Day.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. The White Mage, though, for Burt Reynolds, doing a little bit of work here on the way down. Oh, hi, Lobster friends. How are you doing tonight? Here we go. Power Gauntlet coming out. Asher charging up, trying to get some charge up here on the fighter here.
No. Did I say that too early? Because that was a almost exact damage swing onto Asher's fighter.
And then Asher's fighter gets tagged right afterwards, and yeah, he's done. He taps out.
Yep. Dot forfeit from Asher Wells at the 1 hour 42 minute mark. Unfortunate. Meanwhile, we have Burt Reynolds right behind him, about to pick that same fight with the Black Mage in the front. But unlike all these other runners, Burt's got that White Mage chilling in the back. Gonna use its white shirt. Demi?
Yes.
Remind me not to curse runners.
Just stop rolling seeds as the White Mage gets picked off, because this is how we roll tonight. I mean, here's the thing, is that we don't need the White Mage past this point, honestly. As long as all 3 other characters get through fine. The Terminate is immediate right afterwards, so he's fine. This is not the worst outcome, honestly. He's just got to get out of this vampire fight.
I mean, I appreciate some cosplay, but come on.
Yeah, he's just fine. He runs away. He's going to patch up the party. So he's going to get 3 characters through here. The White Mage is definitely the least important of the quartet, so he's just going to shuffle the... Looks like he's going to shuffle the white shirt off onto the Red Mage here, so... And going to shuffle that ribbon off onto anybody else.
Alright, and gonna get that fast and gonna get fast, use the white shirt and the power bonk here. That's another item that Burt Reynolds got. This one was in Earth 4, in the top left chest of the upper room in Earth 4.
I was gonna check that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was too.
Yeah, we've got Burt Reynolds here on Chaos, Fire 2, and Fire 2 out from Chaos. We're gonna see fast. We're gonna see the white shirt start getting used, and we're gonna start seeing some tempers. So that first swing is gonna be good, 723. So is he gonna be able to burst Chaos before the Cure 4 we know is coming? We shall see.
The Red Wizard doesn't know temper because he didn't go back for it after class changing. He drops the last temper with his Black Mage before losing them, but that is a 10-hit swing for 1,500 damage. We are pumping out the damage with this level 26 Knight.
Black Mage's job is done, and so seeing the Black Mage die is just inputs you don't need to put in, and you're really happy about that. Nuke drops 124, big overhand swing for 1049. See you later, Chaos. It's been nice knowing you. third place finisher, 1 hour 44 minutes and 33 seconds. Keeping in mind that we do have in this race 2 runners off stream. Thunderclawed and Tristal are both racing as well.
Neither of them are weak runners, so
No, they are
taking
both
races off of them is impressive.
Yeah, no, I think that you take a race off of them, you feel pretty good. They're both high quality racers, so I mean, a lot of credit here to everybody on the stream. I mean, a lot of credit to Asher too. It is again a tough dive, and so it's tough when you just lose access to all your heal magic. You either grind and catch some breaks, or you don't.
All right, looks like Burst's just gonna have a few minutes break and then come on in.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to breathe at this point in time, honestly. Let's be real.
Yeah, squeezing through after losing the White Mage on Tiamat 2 is
But yeah, so let's get this out here on the record for the two of you right now. Because a lot of what we're doing here is we're trying to get ready for the spring tournament. One thing you would take from these flags for the spring tournament, go.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, I think the one thing I want to take away from this is, despite being the one who wrote the code to put Fiend Shuffle in, I'm not really a fan. I was thinking about doing an early Earth dive to just go. I had the rod. I knew there was an incentive item down there, and then I got spooked. And because what if it was Tiamat down there at the bottom? Turns out that was.
What if it was Kraken?
Yeah.
It was.
So it kind of just means that Fiend dungeons are way too scary for some of the cheeky early dives that I love to see, where you dive volcano early when you have your canoe at level 9.
And you're just like, I'm going to cast Hold on Carrion. That's my strategy there. Yeah, I do like to see those. And you're right, it does really kind of make those a lot more risky.
Yeah. But other than that, those felt really solid. The vanilla spike tiles were really interesting, and a flag I missed on the first go-round when I was reviewing them. And so it took 2 or 3 encounters for that to really click for me. And so I wasn't going around looking for grind tiles the way I normally do. And that was a little weird. But I think I also kind of liked it.
Yeah, weird, but you liked it? Okay. One fine day, what's something you didn't like about these flags?
Like he said, the Fiend Shuffle, I don't know if it's very good. But you're my only 23.
Yeah, I think it's a flag that plays better with things like floor and entrance shuffle.
Yeah, I think that's true. It would be better with a entrance shuffle type thing, or I don't know. I mean, it has its advantages.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in both directions, certainly. Of course, while we've been chatting, we do have Thunderclawed finished in 5th at 146.58, just 15 seconds behind Tristal at 146.43 in 4th place. So kind of wrapping that all up at that point.
Yeah, GG's to both of them.
Well, that's a 15-minute gap, or 15-second gap between those two. That's some sniping for the fighting over the last spot. So, Bert, Good race. Despite that floater mishap, you still beat two very strong racers in this race.
One of whom is in the room right now as well. So
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what my time would be if I got that floater early. But I guess I learned the lesson to never orphan chess.
I mean, it's not orphaning a chest. It's making a calculated gamble.
Well, that's what I thought, because I found that I think I found the ship in the incentivized chest there. So I thought, well, that opens up like 100 more chests, so that increases the chance of the loose being out there by like 100 times. If I'm doing the math right, like there had to have been 0.5% chance that it was actually in one of those two chests.
Yeah, definitely less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I always find that if I leave a chest behind, it's, a key item like the Mosser or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was so close to being a seed where it's possible to go floaterless, for that matter. If the cube were not in a loose chest in Cardia, it would have been a true floaterless seed.
Yep, and just because we could tonight, because it was a small race tonight, we are joined by Tristal as well tonight. GG Tristal, definitely did not see your run, but I would expect that with the time that you put up, that you had to tough it out pretty hard this tonight.
Yeah, so I did get the floater early enough. I did find that one fun chest in Marsh Cave, which normally I would orphan, but with no warp or exit magic early on, it sort of forced me to check everything. I even checked Marsh Top, although I died to some stuff up there, so I had to abandon the Aegis Shield. Yeah, that sure was a flag set.
What are your thoughts on the flag set, by the way? I know both Leggy and One Fine Day said it was okay, but they definitely did not like Fiend Shuffle. Any thoughts on your part for this?
I don't think I have a problem with Fiend Shuffle, although I'm not sure I entirely understand how it works. If it's just like changes, like it literally puts Kraken in Lich's Orb or something like that, or is it just a cosmetic thing?
Nope, that's exactly it. You pop the orb and you don't know what you're going to get until you see what pops out, and if it's Kraken, it's Kraken.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure because the hit points were really low on whatever was in Lich's Orb, so I wasn't sure if that was just a cosmetic thing or not, because it's going to switch the skills and spells anyway.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Lich's hit points were real high too, so.
Yeah, so
yeah.
it basically just switches up which encounter you get by talking to the orb.
Okay, yeah, no, that's actually really interesting. I don't mind that flag at all, but there was another flag that happened to be live in this one that really, really caused some delays for me. The status attack flag.
Oh yeah, there was Stone Touch on so many different enemies. It's supposedly the same chance as it is in the original game, which is like one out of however many different enemies, but instead there are like 2 different enemies with Death Touch and like 4 with Stone Touch.
No, there's certainly more than 2 with Death Touch. I can vouch for that.
Wizards, Asps.
I only remembered Wizards and Asps.
There was something else.
Yeah, there was something else I care not to remember, and I saw quite a few of the Stone Touch ones too, including everybody's favorite enemy, Green Medusa.
Yeah.
Scarily appropriate.
Is that even randomized?
I know, right?
It's French vanilla.
It's almost like it knows that I'm racing, so let's just make Green Medusas as unholy as possible.
Look, you had fire 3. It's just they wouldn't die to one cast of it.
Well, they wouldn't die to it at all when they ambush you on the earth floor.
Ooh. All right, no one likes that.
Right.
Ambush
Red
Green
Hydra's
Medusas.
also had Stone Touch. That was kind of a problem on the bridge when 4 of them ambushed you there as well. So yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of gather my feelings on this flag. Like, yeah, it's frustrating.
It honestly is most of the time going to be worse than the vanilla distribution, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, because the vanilla distribution is pretty tame.
Yeah, and I think Silence Touch is actually a really neat change too, that becomes possible. I think that's pretty cool. but increasing the frequency of death touch and stone touch is just it's like Dragon Warrior Randomizer asking that. Sometimes you're just like, nope, you're dead. So that's it puts an interesting twist on it.
We actually, interestingly, didn't see any wipes on the stream due to that, but I can see easily how they happen because, as you mentioned, a multi-hit enemy with a instant kill or stone touch effect, they just go down the line and then you don't even get a turn.
You get a turn when you're dead.
Exactly.
Thou art still asleep.
Wrong game, Leggy.
Yeah, I think there's more
I don't know
sleep
if I
touch
saw
too.
any. Was there any sleep touch? I don't
know
Yeah,
if I
for
touch.
sure.
I don't remember seeing it, but it was probably out there.
Yeah.
Shadows had sleep touch actually.
Okay. I mostly saw Shadows cremating things.
Yeah, shadows were basically just pumping out cremate at like a really high rate anyway.
Yeah, I think I wiped 2 or 3 times to Shadows on the way out.
So the one thing you're not so sure about is the status touches. Other than that, you thought these were pretty good.
Fiend swap I had no problem with. Town shuffle is totally fine. I'm used to that, obviously. Status touch would be the one that's kind of wacky there. But like the incentive items were fine. I don't love not having a reason to go to Ice or Ordeal. But it does give you, it makes you a little resource light because I had to do a lot of extra chest checking. I think in the end it was like 146 chests I checked, which is way, way over my average. I usually try to orphan as many chests as I can almost, but I hadn't found a ribbon until Sky. So that was kind of an issue there.
That's the ribbon that we saw Asher. That must have been the ribbon that Asher picked up too.
Yeah.
Because Asher skipped there was one in the trapped chest near Vampire.
Okay, yeah. Did we have better trap treasure on?
Yeah, better trap treasure was on. So a bunch of our runners grabbed that off, which is guarded by a lone earth elemental, and got a ribbon for their troubles.
Mazamune was sitting behind Agama's.
Yep, that one I grabbed.
I'm pretty sure everybody except for Asher grabbed that one.
Asher was already rocking a Vorpal and was happy with it.
But it's interesting that just like the mere presence of that status attack flag, because I didn't know exactly how it worked. I still kind of don't know how it works. Obviously, it doesn't just shuffle the status attacks, but because I had seen so much of it, even just by the time I'd gone through Marsh Cave, it made me want to remain a 4-person party instead of a normal 3-person, which I go for, because I just went with Fighter or Rainbow Mages, and typically I try to figure out, okay, if one of them's not going to have good enough spells, I'll just damn them the rest of the run. Well, I don't want to do that if, a quarter of the enemies in the game are going to have insta-kill attacks. That just means TOFR is going to be insane.
Supposedly, the chances for an enemy to roll Death Touch or Stone Touch are very low, like in the 1% range. Supposedly.
That is true. As the person who wrote that flag.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we have the person who wrote it to explain it.
It is. Basically, I take the odds of any given touch being on enemies just by dividing the number of enemies who have it by the number of total enemies, and that's what you're rolling on. So it's a dice roll, though it's not shuffled. So you can get unlucky and hypothetically roll death touch on everything.
Well, it's not exactly like that, right? Because there's nothing in vanilla that has silence touch, if I'm not mistaken.
I incorporated the other status touches in with things like poison and stun.
Okay, so there's a little lower chance to get poison touch to bring in the mute touch.
Yeah, and initially I also had confused touch in there, but turns out confusing a light warrior breaks the game.
Yeah, that's very bugged. That's why we don't give enemies the confuse spell. It does not do the thing you would expect it to do at all.
Yeah, so my patch note was that on that one was light warriors are never confused.
Did they just do what you asked them to do, or does something else happen?
I think it just I forget what
Confusion does nothing.
Okay.
But I think there are a little bit of like graphical glitches or something. It was a little busted. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, the game is not equipped to handle it because nothing in vanilla makes your light warriors have the confused status ever. So
Well, for those of us on the East Coast, it seems to be midnight. I think we're done here, aren't we?
I do believe we are. Thank you for watching. Thank you for cheering on our runners, and thanks for the feedback from our runners about these flags, because we're going through a lot of different ideas for what's good, what's not for the spring tournament right now, and giving Leggy and her team the best feedback we can is going to be make sure we have the best spring tournament we can. So thank you.
Anything else on anybody's minds before we decide to wrap this party up?
Heart of a lion and wings of a bat because it's midnight.
All I want to say is thank you to Demi Silhouette, who were our streaming crew for today. I appreciate all the work all three of you did.
I think with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Are any of the other Randomania channels up right now?
Nope, there's not. I'm trying to find literally anybody right now.
All right.
Yep, things are pretty quiet out there on the great wide internet, so we're just going to wrap up the evening. So, of course, again, thank you all for coming out. And, of course, on behalf of everybody here in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, have a lovely evening.